Yes, I'm live. Thank you, live. Hello. Welcome. We have a joiner. Hello, Dementia Joe. How you doing? Oh, cool. We have a few people. Hello. Hi, Nightmare. Hi, Ken. Hi, Luke Fish. How are you all? Lots of interesting news this week. Hola. Dementia Joe says, hola. Long Island iced tea? Not quite. It's a pink lemonade. It's a boozy pink lemonade. It's, let's see, it's 5. Heard the bell ring live. Oh, yay, you came. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you heard the bell ring. Yikes. So, hello, babe. Oh, I see new people that I haven't seen before. Hello. So, yeah, it's been a super weird week. And I've been traveling this week. I went to Las Vegas over the weekend. So I'm a huge Beatles fan. And I'm also a huge Cirque du Soleil fan. Women are a thing of the past, Sarah. Apparently they are. We'll get to that in a second. So I went to Las Vegas over the weekend and I went to see the Beatles Love Show. It's a Cirque du Soleil show at the Mirage. And this is my 5th time seeing it. It's my favorite show in Vegas. I will go there just to see that show. And I realized the last time I saw the show was in 2017. They changed the show and they have a little like woke section in it. And I couldn't believe it. And the show is more boring now. I have to look back at exactly what they changed, but it was so disappointing. But several of the songs they for sure changed, and it's a little more, and I don't know, it's a little woke. I'm gonna have to look and see what they changed. I was so disappointed, but other than that, it was a really great show. Oh man, ruining everything. I know, in the Beatles Love Show, why? I'm trying to find reviews about it. I found a few that say the same thing. Like, I saw this show 5 years ago and then I saw it recently and something feels really different about it. And yeah, it's a little darker, the whole concept of the show, which is kind of weird. And then Las Vegas in and of itself, it was really interesting because they have an indoor, why indeed? I know, why do you have to change things? Vegas itself was really interesting. So they still have the indoor mask thing, and some people had them on, some people didn't. They wokeified it. It seems like they did. I need to look into it a little more because I hadn't seen it since 2017. But definitely 2 of the songs. One of the songs got more woke, and a few of the other things were changed. And then the performers, this is what wokeness is becoming the new normal. Yeah, and this was what was so crazy too. A lot of the performers, and think about this, this is Cirque du Soleil, so they're doing acrobats, and like every little centimeter counts when you're in the sky doing flips and whatever else you're doing in the sky without anything holding you. And they all had masks on, and I'm thinking in my head, like, how are they not making a mistake? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes if I have it on and I'm trying to walk downstairs or something, I feel like it throws off my depth perception a little bit. I don't know how they did that, but all of them, even some of the people that were swinging and twirling in the sky, they all had masks on. And I'm just like, wow, that's pretty incredible. I don't know if I would be able to do that, because you really have to be on your game, especially with Cirque du Soleil. Okay, I want to read this, should I go in order? Here, let's look at this story. So this is the top medical journal editor responds to outrage over its cover calls women. The cover called, this is what the Medical Journal magazine, it called women, I can't even say this word without blushing. They're calling women bodies with vaginas. So it's not even a birthing body anymore. It's a body with a vagina. Oh, here, I'll read a little bit of it. The editor of the leading medical journal, The Lancet, is that how you pronounce it? The Lancet? A reproducing unit. Oh, no, don't even say that because you know that's going to come true. This is the past few years, I've seen several. Isn't that sexist? You would think. What about female penises, you guys? I don't know. They're leaving out female penises. So I don't think that's very inclusive of them. Birth givers. Reproducing units. That's what it's going to be before too long. Oh my gosh. Man, we live in weird time. Oh, and I wanted to show you something too. I'll get to that in a minute. But I have another thing that I thought was really interesting. Okay, so they referred to women as bodies with vaginas on the cover of its September issue and apologized Monday for causing offense, but chose to defend the obtuse phrasing used in the publication. I'm on the Daily Wire. Reported that the weekly medical journal called women bodies with vaginas in an article entitled Periods on Display. That sounds like a really nice article for September 1st issue. The quote was, historically, the anatomy and physiology of bodies with vaginas has been neglected, was featured on the cover. Oh my gosh. Periods on display in the cultural movement against menstrual shame. The Lancet also had to pull their, oh wow, I'm not going to read that and let you guys see that. So that was the second thing that they had to pull. Please understand that just because you have a vajayjay, you may not be a woman. Exactly, that's probably where I'm sure a lot of this outrage is coming from. I'm actually going to look at some of the comments under this. They released a Twitter. Oh gosh. Okay, so the Lancet, I'm guessing that's how you say it, correct? The Lancet. So they tweeted this headline out, and I'm going to read you the comments under the Twitter. I hope that one is, this is Gad Sad, if you guys know who he is, Gad Sad. He's obviously the first one that pops up. I follow him on Twitter. So he said, I hope that one day medical science will discover a name for bodies with vaginas, said Dr. Fauci. Oh gosh, the victor of science on earth might help. I'll also retweet to him. Someone said, how is that one of the world's leading general medical journals with a motto of the best science is a good start seemingly doesn't know what a woman is? Bodies with vaginas is unscientific and incredibly demeaning. I agree. Who said it just now? Reproducing units, that's basically what it is. So in an attempt not to offend anyone, we just get even more cringy than we were in the beginning. Well, I thought that was interesting. I also thought this was interesting. So something I've noticed recently is that I used to read a lot of, like, when I was younger, a lot of women's fashion magazines, and a lot of them have stopped selling, so they don't print anymore. Like Glamour stopped printing, and a few other of them have stopped printing as well. Wait, do I have them? Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay there. Hello, Neil. Good evening. So I noticed something when I lived in Virginia. I used to be an avid reader when I was younger. I would read like 17 magazine and Teen Vogue and all of these magazines, and more and more of these magazines. This might be another get woke, go broke scenario. A lot of these magazines have stopped printing, and when they do print, they're a lot smaller, and a lot of them, even their online publication, what they publish online, is getting less and less viewers. And I recently looked this up because so when I travel, I'll buy magazines just to look through, and this is how thin some of them are. So that's Cosmopolitan now, and then this is Allure. And look how thin. It used to be 2 times this size, maybe even 3 times this size. Look at how thin this is. Same with Cosmo. It used to be like super thick. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Also, where I'm staying right now in Virginia, I'll go around to the grocery stores and stuff, and I look at the magazines just out of curiosity, and they don't sell any fashion magazines. So I'm thinking about this, and I looked up this article just now, and I thought this was really interesting. It doesn't go the back cover of my eyes. Oh, I didn't see. Oh gosh. Oh, stop. People don't mess with print media too much now. No, I don't. I just like it sometimes when I travel, if I'm on an airplane or if I'm going to lay out at a pool or a beach or just like hang out outside. I like to look through them. I think they're fun every now and then. But this, so I found this article that I thought was pretty interesting, and it says, women's magazines are more progressive than ever, and they're all closing down. So let me see if I can find this part. Okay, so the demise of women's mags would once have been met with jubilation by some feminists. So feminists for a long time have been complaining about women's magazines, saying that they're toxic and they're putting, let's see if I can find exactly what it says. But it always says that they put these bad ideals onto young women, whether it's like the supermodels on the cover and stuff like that. And then the article goes down, woke goes broke, they want other people's money. Okay, so it goes on to talk about all of the women's magazines that aren't being printed anymore, and it goes down with all these fashion magazines. And then it says this, it says, the sad thing is that the current purge is happening at a time when women's magazines are less sexist and more progressive than they have ever been. Last year's September issues made history with virtually every one featuring a black cover star. Some may argue that change came too late, but even magazines that only ever had a feminist agenda haven't been immune. So now that all of these female fashion magazines are super progressive, they're stopping to sell. And I don't think it's just that. I think print, like someone just said, is kind of a thing in the past as well. Fashion mags started the fat shaming. Yeah, and I remember that. It's weird. This is another instance where I think it went too far, because I remember being in high school and like I said, I read 17 magazine. I'm trying to think of the other like teen magazines, but 17 was a big one. And there was a lot of conversation around the models in the magazine. Like, why don't we show all different shapes and sizes, not just one shape? And I think in the beginning that was a really positive thing. Like, let's show a variety of shapes and not just have all of our models look exactly the same. And then they just, and it started with that, and then they just started getting even more and more progressive. Teen Vogue, which used to be all about fashion and having fun, got super political, and they even admitted this. It was more of a political activism magazine than anything. And I think they're still online, but they don't do anything near what they did. But that's one more area where you're just taking, I read technical magazines, but to me it's just one more area where you're taking something that used to be fun and kind of an escape. That's what magazines always were to me. They were an escape. Finally live, and I didn't miss. Hello, Sarah. Hello. Remember I didn't read that comment. They were full of interesting machines, airplanes, the technical magazines. I never read the technical magazine, ever. But fashion magazines, they used to be a little bit fun. I mean, I know there's nothing deep going on there, but you're not picking up a fashion magazine. Tiger Beat, that was a good one. That was a teenage gossip magazine, but they don't have those anymore. It's really sad. Okay, so Jen Psaki earlier today was doing a press briefing. Somebody tried to ask her, I know it's you. I know who you are. Hammerstein. Am I saying it right? What's your top 10 college football team rankings? Are you talking to me? I know you're not talking to me. Hello from Northeast Ohio. Hello. Thank you for joining. Fashion magazines were giving free dress designs and taught women how to make clothes, etc. Some, and then some, some were doing that, and then some just had, I don't know, they had makeup tips and outfit ideas, stuff like that. Okay, so earlier this week, there was some audio that came out, and it was a hot mic. So Biden was in India. Yeah, chick stuff, exactly. It was chick stuff. But chicks like chick stuff sometimes. I like chick stuff sometimes. So Biden was in India, and a hot mic picked up him talking about how the American press is bad. Let me see if I can find out exactly what he says. Okay, here we go. Proper chick stuff. Okay, here we go. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki attempted to downplay President Joe Biden, refusing to take questions from reporters multiple times last week, claiming that he did so because reporters were not going to ask about the issues at hand. Psaki made remarks in response to questions from reporters during Monday's press briefings, who asked about instances in the Oval Office where Biden did not answer questions following talks with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Indian Prime Minister, I hope I'm saying that, Narendra Modi. It's only, just one more. As he sat down with Prime Minister Modi last week, the president said that the Indian press is better behaved than the U.S. press, and then he advised him not to take questions. A reporter said to Psaki, "Can you explain why the American president was criticizing U.S. reporters in that setting?" After claiming that Biden does not take questions, Psaki said, "I think what he said is that they have not always been on point." So basically, Jen was saying that when the president is making remarks on something, he wants his questions to be on point, which we all already know this. We were also told by Jen Psaki several months ago that this was the most transparent president ever. And remember how many questions that Trump got asked when he would do a press conference or when he was outside. He always took questions, even if they were not on point. And just imagine if the tables were turned, how furious the media would be if that was Donald Trump saying the same thing about our reporters. I mean, every single news outlet would be going nuts with that. And here it is again, they just sort of get away with it, and that's that. She was asked again, Jen Psaki, in the same press briefing that was earlier today, she was asked by a reporter named Emerald Robinson, and they asked Jen Psaki what did they think about Biden's poll numbers. If you saw his poll numbers this week, they're even lower than they were the week before. So they are just gradually going down and down and down and down. And again, she didn't answer the question. She just walked out of the room. And again, it's They have to be his approved questions. They have to be on topic for him. And it was interesting that language being used, how our media is not well behaved. Well, that's the job of the media, to push back a little bit to the president or to the press secretary and to ask the questions that the American people want to know. Emerald is with Newsmax. Okay, yeah, she yelled that. So it was right as the press briefing was ending, and she sort of yelled that question out at Jen Psaki, which granted, it wasn't asked during the press briefing. So credit where credit's due, but how many times, again, with Kayleigh McEnany, did people scream things out? And sometimes she would answer too, and sometimes she wouldn't. Jen, let me circle back, Psaki. Exactly. And you would think, too, that they would be trained on being able to handle some of these tougher questions. Greetings from our nation's capital. I am surrounded by idiots, stuck here until Friday. General Milley is the one scripting things along with others. Yes, how disappointing is that? Very disappointing. Jen Psaki. And this is interesting too. Hold on one second. Oh, we'll talk about Chris Cuomo's because he's got some allegations, which they're all allegations. We don't know much, but you can't make it up. Here, I'll read. Let's go to Chris Cuomo. Paid to lie. I mean, here they come, right on cue a little bit. Comrade General. Hi, Stefan. Is that how you say your name, Stefan? Jen Psaki is the face of the Ministry of Truth. I don't know what that is. Okay, so have you heard about these Chris Cuomo? What is it about the Cuomo family? I don't know, to be honest with you. I kind of, I wasn't really paying attention to this too much. And then, so I guess an accuser came out with Chris Cuomo. I'll read a little bit of it. It says Shelley Ross, who accused CNN anchor Chris Cuomo of harassment in a New York Times op-ed last week, blasted the network anchor again on Friday over his response. Okay, so I guess she came out with a New York Times op-ed, and in this, she accused Chris Cuomo of wrongdoings, and he had a response after that. So she said, I was hoping that in 15, 16 years that he had changed, but he's no more enlightened today than he was, as demonstrated by his response. So it says, Ross wrote an op-ed for the New York Times on Friday detailing an event in 2005 in which Cuomo, who had worked under Ross at ABC News, had groped during a goodbye celebration for another ABC employee. Ross had recently moved on from being Cuomo's boss at the time. As Shelley acknowledges okay, so this is Cuomo's response. As Shelley acknowledges, our interaction was not sexual in nature. It happened 16 years ago in a public setting when she was a top executive at ABC. I apologized to her then, and I meant it, Cuomo responded to her op-ed. Ross ripped the CNN host, saying that his response showed his lack of personal growth to the incident. So she was saying that he groped her behind, I guess, when they were in public, right in front of her husband. I don't acknowledge that there's anything that was our interaction. I was not a participant, she said. I was groped. And to say that I acknowledge interaction, no, that shows a lack of enlightenment. Ross wrote in her op-ed that Cuomo approached her at a party and grabbed the cheek of her behind in front of her husband. So that's what happened. She says, at the time, I was the executive producer of an ABC entertainment special, but I was Mr. Cuomo's executive producer at Primetime Live just before that. I was at the party with my husband, who sat behind me on an ottoman, sipping his Diet Coke as I spoke with work friends. When Mr. Cuomo entered the Upper West Side bar, he walked toward me and greeted me with a strong bear hug while lowering one hand to firmly grab and squeeze my behind. Someone said, Cuomo, totally safe. I know what you're saying. I can do this now that you're no longer my... Ew! If this is true... Gosh, she's creepy. Of course, this is all alleged. This is just according to what she's saying. We don't know. I can do this now that you're no longer my boss, he said with me in kind of a cocky arrogance. No, you can't, I said, pushing him off me at the chest while stepping back, revealing my husband, who had seen the entire episode at close range. We quickly left. After the incident, Cuomo emailed Ross an apology. Now that I think of it, I am ashamed, the subject line said. Okay, so he emailed her and said this after. The email continued. Though my hearty greeting was a function of being glad to see you, Christian Slater got arrested for kind of a similar act. Allegedly. And as a husband, I can empathize with not liking to see my wife patted as such. You think? So pass along my apology to your very good and noble husband. And I apologize to you as well for even putting you in such a position. Next time, I will remember the lesson no matter how happy I am to see you. Ross wrote that Cuomo's recent actions advising his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, of how to handle the media amid accusations of misconduct suggests that the CNN's anchor's commitment to truth and accountability is lacking. Now, given Mr. Cuomo's role as a supporter of and counselor to his brother, I am left again wondering about his relationship with the truth and accountability, Ross wrote. Has this man always cared deeply and profoundly about harassment issues? Does he believe enough in accountability to step up and take some meaningful actions? Okay, so that's really interesting. That's against Chris Cuomo. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not terribly surprised that something has come up. Both of them, in my opinion, just seem rather reckless, and they just seem like guys who are used to getting away with a lot of things. Chris Cuomo goes around talking about wrecking people and using, yes, fingers Frito. You should discuss the Maricopa audit. Only one county. Yes, so the audit happened. Chris Cuomo likes fame his enemies as Russian spies, so it's hard to feel sorry for them. Okay, so someone just asked about the audit in Arizona. So I've been paying attention to that. It took a really long time. And depending on what you read, you will see different things. So I don't want to go into too much detail about that here. I'm creating another place where I can talk more about stuff like that, but I want to be careful on YouTube. But I will read you something that I really thought was interesting. And I encourage you to go over to this publication and read it. Let me find it for you. Okay. Trump never conceded. Okay, so I'm going to read you this Twitter thread, and this is just opinion, so I'm not saying anything. And this is from the Times UK. The audit shows 20K plus fake made up on paper without any records. I can't wait for your new safe zone that's coming. Yeah, it just kind of stinks because I try to be really careful about what I say. I don't want what I built to just be completely taken away from me. So I try to be careful about certain things. But I'll read you this. Excuse me, I've been a little ill. Okay, so this is from the Times UK. And I'm just going to read you the thread. And I don't even know who this is on Twitter. Later on, I will link to this, but this Twitter thread that I'm reading from is at MAA. I'm going to have to get off of here in about 15 minutes. It's at MAAJIDNAWAZ. I'll link to it below after this goes on to my channel. YouTube waiting to pull the plug on Sarah. Tread carefully. I hope not. I don't think so. I'm pretty good, I feel like. I don't think they're, and I'm not very big, so I think I'm okay. Yes, but with 2 A's. So it says, this is called narrative collapse. After this, I'm gonna hop off, but I think you will really like this and find this article. Okay, so he says, this is called narrative collapse. British media, no I haven't. British media finally appear to be questioning Biden's US election debacle. Officer Tatum's last video? Okay, I'll look at it. Okay, so you know who that is. Rod Little thread. Soon the public will wake up to something even more unpleasant and sinister, that the last presidential election was a fraud. I'm being careful. Okay, and again, this is the Times UK. So this is the UK Times. Yes, I am. Played with by big business, the labor unions, and more than anything, the media and tech companies. If that election had taken place in any other country, it would have been called unfree. And as more and more evidence emerges, it terrifies me that the same thing could happen here. So they're afraid that the same thing is going to happen where they live, somewhere in the UK. Wait, you argue, the BBC deliberately withholds stories damaging to its preferred party or candidate? Facebook and co. refuse to carry news stories harmful to the opposition because they class them as false news? Yes, I think you see my point. We already knew, even as Biden was declaring victory, that Facebook and Twitter had cut off Donald Trump's access to the electorate. He was deliberately redeemed voiceless. Before then, they and the national media had smothered stories alleging that Biden's family peddling of influence and that Biden's crackhead son and his dubious business interests in Ukraine, false news. We were informed, nope, not all of it was false at all. It transpired. So later on, we found these stories that they tried to hide were in fact true. We were told in February this year, courtesy of Time magazine, that there was actually a conspiracy, a secret coalition of chief executives, labor unions, left-wing pressure groups, and media companies to manage what information was available to the voting public. This aim, as the Wall Street Journal put it, was to suppress unwanted elements of U.S. political conversation. What a wonderful phrase. Time magazine reported this as if the cabal, it's called the arrangement of a cabal, had been acting heroically to save the U.S. public from making the same mistake again and electing the, I don't know what that word is, and to do so by suppressing stories favorable of him. Now, we discover that General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was also conspiring against the president. Twice Milley called the Chinese diplomats to let them know that he would countermine any order from Trump to attack China, which seems to a lot of U.S. conservatives to be an act of pure treason. Milley also went behind the president's back to connive with the Democrat leaders of the House, Nancy Pelosi. The author of that article in Time said that the conspirators were not rigging the election, they were fortifying it. Wow, isn't that a little chilling? And are you looking forward to a fortified general election over here? My regulars know we covered this precise topic verbatim on air on the 23rd of September asking, do you regret supporting Biden? And I've been asking these questions here since before the election in 2020. Here's the Time magazine article. So I don't know if you guys remember that huge Time magazine article that talked about how there was a little underground conspiracy behind everything, how they conspired with text people, like activists, just all kinds of people to fortify the election. And I don't know how you get any more public with that. You don't even have to say any wrongdoing behind, you know, with this or that. They basically said it in that spread that yes, they did work with certain people to suppress certain stories and highlight other stories. How is that not suppressing votes when you're controlling the information that goes out to people? And I learned this back in 5th grade. In 5th grade, we learned about North Korea. Happy that people are supporting your content, Sarah. Thank you very much. That's really sweet, Etsy. I'm going to have to get off here in 2 minutes, but thank you for reading that. Oh, you're welcome. Once this gets uploaded, I will link it in the description. So if someone wants to see it, and then they link to the Time magazine article. I think I did a video about that a while back, but they basically admitted it in the open that it was fortified, you guys. It's all about wording, okay? It was fortified. I don't know what's creepier. But that there it is. Just watching people struggle to try to find words is depressing. Yes. But this is the Times in the UK where they're basically saying it. Like it's you know, they see what's happening and they're afraid if that can happen there, what's going to happen here in the UK? Is anything ever free? And you know, when I was in 5th grade, that's what we learned about. I'm not trying to make this connection, but my mind always goes back there. Is that's how they control the population. You control the information they get. You control the internet. You control the news sources they read. And it's a little bit of what they're doing, which is pretty crazy to me. And the fact that they wrote this huge article in Time magazine, which they basically admitted what they did, and they did it openly, and they were proud of it, and literally thought that they were doing the heroic thing by keeping information from people. And that just goes to show you how their great talk. I will be following you. Oh, thank you so much, Neil. That just goes to show you how their minds work. They think that they're smarter for some reason. They think that they know, excuse me. Come here, come here, come here. They think that they know better than you, that it's their job to control the information, not allowing you to have all the information to make those decisions yourself. Hi, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Look. Quina. Eva looks at Quina. This is Quina. Hi, come here, look. No, look. Who's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Eva's voice got a little lower. She got a bit furrier. That's Quina. Hello, doggy. Hi, Quina. Come here. Do you like being on camera? This is... Well, you know, okay, someone says, correction, America was never a constitutional republic. Thank you, Chad. But, you know, and this is where I think that things are positive, because you have a point there. I think I've told this story on this channel, I don't know how many times. Big-eyed doggy, where's the cat? The cat's not with me right now. She's in Virginia. Oh, went to sleep with the American dream, woke up in Night America. Tom McDonald, we have a Tom McDonald person. And less camera shy. Yes, Quina is way less camera shy than Eva. So, but back in the day, they used to buy elections. McKinley was bought back in the day by, I believe, Rockefeller and JP Morgan, and they got away with it so much easier because you only had just a few forms of media. Now we have social media. We have people with camera phones that are allowed to just talk on anything. So I don't even think it's getting worse. I think that we're able to just see behind the curtain a lot more than we used to be able to. When I believe it was Rockefeller and JP Morgan, when they realized that someone that was going to be a threat to their big business was going to be running in the presidential election, they said, what can we do? And that's when they got behind McKinley. And then when McKinley was elected, they would even look at his speech and change around some of the speeches to make sure their message was exactly what they wanted was exactly what they wanted it to do. So I don't think fixing an election is anything new, or that big business is behind some of these things. I just think we're able to see behind the curtain a lot more. When will I be back on? I'm going to be live tomorrow. Let me figure out a good time. I will be live at 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, and that's 7 p.m. Eastern. So 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, I'll be live 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'll announce that again later on in the day. And it should be a much better one because I just kind of hopped on today. Okay, that's everything that I have. But it does make me feel better because although it seems like super creepy, like we're able to see the behind the curtain again in a way that we've never had before. And that to me gives me hope with social media. That's why they try so hard. 7 p.m. here, thank you. Okay, all right, you all. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow. If there's anything you want to talk about, let me know. What? Someone said something about Brandon Tatum's video, so I'll look at that. McKinley was before the modern era. What? Yeah, modern journalists. Hit the like button, folks. Have a great night, everyone. Yes, please hit the like button. Help me on the algorithm. All right, thank you, everyone. I'm going to go. Goodbye. Jeez. Quinna. Bye, you all. Miss Ansoni, please check Officer Tatum's last video. It's worth it. Okay, I'll look at Officer Tatum's last video. Uh-oh, someone else wants attention. What was that link, Sarah? Here, hold on. I'm just gonna put it on the screen right now. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put it on the screen right now, and then when this is uploaded, I will put it in the description. Okay, can you see it? And then I'll put it in the description when this is posted. All right, see you, everyone. Thank you for coming. That was a lot of fun. Ah, okay. Bye. Later. See you, Nightmare. Later, guys. Thank you for coming. I'll see you tomorrow. Go Cubs. Where did you... Oh, you saw my Cubs candle. Okay, good night. See you later, guys. Bye. Bye.